Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to build a dashboard from the scratch, and while doing so, we will also understand how we have received the requirements from the business and what are the next steps that we need. So, like you see on my screen, this is how we wanted a dashboard to be built. But before we finally created this dashboard, I wanted to show you how or what are the requirements that we have received and what were the next steps that we have taken, so that we have reached a conclusion and then we started our build. So let us get started without wasting much time, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So here, if you see, this is how we have got the requirement. Pretty much simple, not in any requirement document, anything. Okay, so we're having a simple call or meeting you can consider. And in that meeting, client came with the problem that he wanted to have one dashboard so that he can play. So there are already a number of existing reports in the production system that if any specific information user want to see, he can go to that particular report and he can see. No issues with that. So till there he was fine. But now he has a problem that he wanted to have only select only few fields and see what is the metric related to that. That was the requirement. Now this is how he has given us some document, or not document, you can consider these points we have received in an email. So like he wanted to have select dynamic dimensions, dynamic measures, and he does not want any static reporting, and he wants to have control on the report. Now it is very tough to understand what is client actually expecting here. On top of this, what we did is we asked a few questions to this. Now, if a client is directly coming to you and telling he want this to be built, now we have some problems here. Dynamic dimensions. What are the dimensions he is looking after? What are the measures that he need? Okay, so these measures can be sometimes static. Static means they can be readily available in your view, or we might have to create a calculated field on top of the existing thing. That can be another possibility. And dimensions also, like how he wants to control. That is what, like say, so we went on with the questions. Like first question we asked, so we had second meeting with the business and we understood what he actually looking in the report, or what is he actually want and what is his problem statement. He said, I only want to play with 3 to 4 dimensions, he said. So first, initially he didn't give us any dimensions. Also he said, I just have a vague understanding in my mind. I only use, like say, assume if I'm talking with respect to sample superstore, I only use category, or maybe region, or sometimes maybe ship mode, and maybe sometimes a segment. So these are the only 4 dimensions that I am worried about. So these are something that I always look into whenever I log in into the report. That is what he said. So from this point, we got to know that these are the 4 important dimensions he is looking after day in and day out. So this is one question that you can ask with the client to get the answer, like what are the dimensions he frequently uses, so that we can give that option to him to select. Okay, so that is one thing. Second thing, like that, we asked him what is the what is the measures he is looking with respect to this specific dimension. That question we asked, because without that we will not be able to build anything. So he said, maybe again I'm going to, with respect to sample superstore, maybe here we have profit, we have sales, and we have maybe quantity. But maybe in real time he might ask you to create a YTD, or maybe MTD, or rolling 12. Something like this is also a possibility. So he'll say, I'll select whatever the dimensions I want, and for that particular dimension I want year to till date total sales, and MTD or R12. So you can customize whenever you are building that. And along with that, he also want to see the total uh, value for the measure he is selecting. Like say if he is selecting for profit, he want to select see total profit and all. So that is how we have had multiple uh, meetings with the business to finally come to a conclusion that this is the dimensions or measures he is using, and on top of that, this is what we need. So we had an agreement and then we built, and this is how the picture came in. Now here few things that I wanted to show you before I actually do. Okay, so here if I'm selecting region here, this region is automatically coming here, which means my titles are dynamic. Okay, so here again you see total value for profit is this one. So the total value for whatever the measure you are choosing is again dynamic here. See here, by default in this select measure I have profit, so it is showing for profit. If I select the sales, my title is changing here, or my axis is getting updated as sales, and here my value is also getting updated as sales. Okay, which means my this one is dynamic in nature, this one is dynamic in nature, and this is also dynamic in nature. So everything is dynamic here. So we can select whatever the dimensions we want, and based on that this is changing. If I'm selecting region, I'm getting region wise sales here, and if I'm selecting category, I'm getting category wise this thing, and everything is sorted. If you see, this is segment wise and ship mode. That way we can play. So same concept you can definitely implement in your real time. Situation might be different. His use case might be different. The dimensions he need might be different. Measures he need might be different. But the concept that you are building is very useful and very impactful in real time. So without wasting much time, now let us focus on how we can build that. So for that, I'm just taking a new workbook because I don't want to create in the same workbook so that it can create confusion for us. And I'm just connecting to sample superstore here. And so first thing is we need parameters so that we can create dimensions and measure. So for that, I'm creating a parameter called as select dimension. Okay, and because I'm passing string values, I'm naming string values here, and whatever the dimensions you need you can add it. Region, category. Okay, and I have segment, and I'm taking ship mode. So whatever the dimensions you need you can try with that, but I'm taking this for now. Likewise we need measures, so I'm taking another parameter and creating another parameter here and naming it as select measure. But this time, because all our measures are numeric in nature, I am taking integer value here. And for now, I'm passing three values here. So one is my profit, two is my sales, and three is my quantity. So if you want to add any more values, you can do that as well. So this is now I'm just showing here. Click on this, show parameter, and this also show parameter. So two steps completed. First, we have created a parameter and then we have showed the parameter. Now, because user wanted to have single value list, I'm making it single value list, both the ways. Okay. Now, again, if at all you need clarity, like what should be the first field in this, you can also check with the user to get clarity on this. And maybe you can reorder according to his requirement. So sometimes there can be issue with this also. He will say, hey Rahul, I don't need region first. I want category to be selected first. And here I want sales on the first and then profit and then quantity. It can be anything. Anything you want to do, you can always do. But before you do anything, just to get confirmation. Now let us write a calculation to get the fields according to the parameter selected. So I'm just writing p dot, I'm writing select dimension. Okay, so calculation is pretty simple. So I'm just writing case of select dimension. Maybe you can try to write it using if statement also. That will give you some hands-on practice for the requirement. Okay, so case of this when it is region, sorry, When it is region, then I want the region field to be displayed. When it is category, then I want the category to be displayed. When it is segment, then I want segment to be displayed. And similarly, when it is ship mode, I want ship mode to be displayed. Okay, so we have dynamically created this thing now. Click on this, apply. Okay, now if I take this into my rows or columns wherever I want, see here, if I select a region, I'm getting all the values of region. When I'm selecting category, I'm getting all the values of category. When I'm selecting segment, I'm getting all the values of segment. So I'm getting ship mode, I'm getting ship mode. So all of that we have created in the parameter is working fine. Okay, so make sure whatever the value, that name you are writing here should exactly match with your calculated field here. If you go here, if there is any typo error in this will not match. So assume by mistake I have written something like this. So technically your syntax is right. Okay, I'm applying. But when I go and select this category, it is not coming. Now you will get worried what is happening, why category is not showing. So make sure you are passing the correct name, because on the whole, whatever you have given in the quotes or inverted commas, Tableau will treat that as one value, and it does not bother whether there is any typo or error or spelling mismatch and all. For that, this is one common thing. Okay, so make sure you are following that. So mostly in real time, many do mistakes like this, and that might be again cause of problem. So once you do, test for all of the values here. Region is working, say category is working, segment is working, shift mode is also working. All four working fine. Now likewise, you need to prepare one more calculation or create one more calculation for this select measure. I'm creating that, create calculated field, p dot select measure, and this time same concept I'm following, select measure. Again, you can try to write using if statement or any other alternate approach you can think of. Okay, and I'm writing like say case when it is when one now. So remember the data type that you have given for this is parameter select measure. So remember it was of integer type, so that's why I'm passing when one, then it is profit for me. Okay, when it is two, then it is sales for me. When it is three, then it is quantity for me. Okay, and I'm ending it. Now there are multiple ways we can write this statement. If at all you want to aggregate it, aggregate here itself like this sum, and you can close it. Okay, and here, see now there is an issue. Only one value in this you are aggregating, and all other values you are keeping it like this. So Tableau will not accept that way. So if at all you are aggregating, all the values should be aggregated in that calculated field, then only it will accept. So I'm just aggregating all of the values here, and now there is one question for you. I should count to my quantities, or I should do a sum on quantities. So do, comment what do you think the aggregation of my quantity should be, okay, in the comment section. So for now I'm keeping as sum, but do comment what is your opinion on that. So a lot of people get confused when it is quantity. I should do a count on quantities, or I should do a sum on quantities. Okay, so let us see your this thing. So this is second approach where I can do sum on this, or third approach is I can do something like this also. On the whole, I'm just opening or writing sum on top of this, and I'm closing it something like this. So three approaches I have shown you. Whatever you feel, you can write it. Okay, so if you don't aggregate also, when you fill that particular field into this marks label and drop it, it will automatically aggregate. Or if at all you want to aggregate it within the calculated field, you can do that way also. So I'm just putting it like this, click on apply. and okay. Now I'm just taking this and dropping it here. Okay, so maybe I'll rearrange because we want this way, and I'm just sort it. Maybe I'll make it entire view. Perfect. Now what I'm doing is I want to color this value. So I'm also taking my select measure and I'm dropping it on color shelf. Okay, so we got that also. Now let us see how it behaves with respect to this. Okay, so I'm just taking region. Okay, region wise profit we are getting. Okay, and if I select or make it sales, it is sales. If it is quantity, it is quantity. Okay, so till here everything is fine. Now let us go to dashboard. I think we have created one report, so I'll just write it as my detail sheet. Now if you remember or the requirement, we also need another sheet where we want to show the total value for the selected measure, right? So this time what I'm doing is I'm just creating or taking a simple this thing measure and dropping it here. Okay, maybe I'll just take this one here. Now if it is profit, this is my profit. If it is sale, it is something like this. Okay, now we want to customize this according to what we are selecting. So I'm just taking this parameter and dropping it on label. Okay, and I'm customizing my label. So displaying so okay, total value for my parameter selected is this much. Okay, so and I'm making just this one as bold, and maybe I'll select Tableau bold. Okay, same likewise I'll select only this one, the parameter that we have chosen, and I'll make bold for that. Rest everything I'm okay with that. Fine, so this is my summary sheet. Now I think we have all that we need. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to create a dashboard. Okay, so now for now you can either use tiled object or floating object, whatever you want. So but I'm using tiled object for now. Maybe you can try using the same thing using floating objects and try to place them. And first thing that I'm adding is my this one detailed sheet, and this I don't need my legend, so I'm removing that. Now it is up to you whether you want to add it on the right or on the left, this one, the parameters, but I'm adding it on the left. So I'm moving, just dragging on this and moving it to left side. And likewise, this also below this. Okay. And maybe I don't want to give much space to this. I'll keep it something like this. Okay. Now what we need a detail sheet to be added. This one, sorry, the summary sheet on top. So I'll just move this summary sheet on the top here. Okay, so this is how it is looking. Fine. So now let us remove all the titles of the page that we don't need. And this is how we can put it for now. Okay. And this I need to be entire view. And I want this to be in the center. Okay, so maybe I'll arrange with respect to my alignment here. Okay, so here also I'll do entire view. Now we got it. Okay, this is how we have. Okay, so I will remove this also because we want to customize and show the dimension and measure we are selecting. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking another text object and maybe I'll add here, and I'm inserting and I'm just selecting the parameter that we have created. One is for dimension. Maybe I'll put this in the center and click OK. So we got dynamic titles created here. You can do the same thing in the title section also. Okay, it's no issues, but I'm using just text box here. And this time here I'm using measure. Okay, I'm just making it in the to the center. Okay, so we got this one. I'm just decreasing the size of this. What I'm doing is whatever the size is there, I'm keeping the same. So here height 43 it is same thing. I'll try to put here. It is 37. I'll just try to put the same thing. Okay, maybe I'm fine with that. Now only one problem. I want to adjust my value here. So I'm just clicking on this format and maybe I'll put it something like this. Yeah. Okay. So our dashboard is now almost ready. Uh, I'll just add one more text object on the top and I'll write it as dynamic dashboard. Okay. I'll make it to the center of the screen. Maybe I'll increase it size as 26. Maybe I'll make it completely black and bold. Okay. Okay. So I can keep whatever the height I want, something like this. Okay. So I want to color this title a little bit. So I'm just going to right click and format text object, or maybe from layout background, I'll just select this. Okay. So likewise, I'm just adding little border and not doing much here. So before that, let us add some background from dashboard and maybe I'll select this. Okay. So now I want to remove the colors of my worksheet. I'm doing that by selecting this format and shading and I'm clicking on none. Same likewise for this sheet also. Done. So I want to remove this white lines also. If you can see, those are called as grid lines. So you can go to these lines under rows and columns, you will find them. I'm removing that as well. Okay. Now simply I just want to have small border for each of my worksheet so that I can separate them. So I'm just maybe I'll choose this and I'll select this and so this is one second one, just remember this. So for this also I'm using this 2 2. So for everything I'm just following the same thing to keep consistency. So here also, okay, and maybe for this also I'll add, so that we are following the same thing across the dashboard. Okay, so here, done. Okay, so our dashboard is now ready. User can come here and select whatever he want. So if I'm writing category it is showing one check, which is right. If I'm selecting sales here, total value for sales, this is one check, and total sales here it is displaying on the axis, which is correct. And if I'm selecting profit, it is displaying profit. View is sorted. If it is region, it is region, category, segment, and profit. That way we can build a dashboard from the scratch, and you can definitely showcase your client to get the feedback. And again, on the feedback received, maybe you can work and improvise on this version. So I think that's it from my side in this video. I hope you have found this video useful. If it does, don't forget to comment and don't forget to share the video. Thank you. Have a good day and see you in the next video. Bye bye.